Hello. So now we are going to start database task 3 of June 2020 paper 2. So we'll start from the first question from task 3. You are now going to prepare some reports. Dates are to be imported in the format of day, month, year. So this is an important information. So while importing the table, we must make sure that we are importing in the format of day, month, year if any date is or if any field is having data type date. So first is using a suitable database package, import the file J220 results.csv. So using a suitable database package means definitely we have to go for access. So we can open a blank access and name the access properly. Now, this is the access for me, and then I'm going to close the blank table which is already there because we are going to import the table which is given in our source folder. And it is CSV, which means comma separated value, and that's the text file. So we have to go to external data because we are going to import the data, and then we can see import handling, and then we can choose text file. So if some of you are using the newer version, you can see a new data source here instead of import handling. You can click on new data source, and then you will get an option from file, and then again you will get the option text file. So click on text file, and then you will get the window to browse the file. So browse it from your source folder. We have to open J220 results. Open, and then we have some steps that need to be followed. So this is the first step in import text wizard, whether we have to choose whether this is delimited or text fixed width. We know that this is CSV comma separated value. You can see all the data are separated with comma or tab. So make sure that you're choosing only delimited, and then go for the next step. And the important step is that we have to choose first row contain field names, then only we can see the difference between the heading and then the data. And in the same step, go for advanced, and then try changing the data type according to the question paper. So first four fields are all text. So short text is equivalent to text, so we do not need to change anything here. And then the birth date. Birth date is definitely date or time, so it's already given as date with time, but here we must make sure whether we are going whether it is in the format day, month, year. So if we check this area, we can see date order, so it's already DMY. If it is DYM, MDY, or MID, anything, make sure that you're choosing DMY. And then the next is date delimiter. Date delimiter means the separator between the date, month, and year. Now, in every question paper, like in almost all the question paper, we used to get the example of data. So if we scroll down, we can see the example here. The example for date is given, and you can see the date delimiter is the backslash. So make sure to remove hyphen if you have it, and then give backslash. If it is already backslash, you do not need to change. Now, till now, we do not have any time data type, so I'm going to ignore that. Now, according to the example, it's 4-digit years. So I'm going to make it 4-digit years, and then leading zeros in dates, so that if any single day we will be able to view it as like proceeding with zero. And then the next one is age underscore jan. Age underscore jan, the data type is number. The format is integer, which means a whole number where there is no decimal place. So here it is by default long integer. That's not correct. We have to go for integer. There is difference between long integer and integer. There is a difference in the length and the difference in the number of characters. Next is avg underscore nph. It's again data type is number, but here we have some decimal places. It's not integer. Integer means no decimal place, but if there is decimal place and if the data type is number, then we have to change this to double. So it's already double, so there is no need of changing. And the next three are number with integer format. So I have to make sure that I am changing long integer to integer. And the third one also. integer. And the next is penalty, which is boolean or logical, or we must display it as yes or no. So change this to yes or no. And the last four are text. So it's already text, so I do not need to change. Then click OK and next. We don't have anything to be done here. This is only to give some specific information and we do not need to do that. And this is another important step where we have to add the primary key. As you can see, primary key is a uniquely identified record in your table. So according to the question paper, they have given soon after the table, set racer ID as a primary key. So let access add primary key will add an extra field. So try to avoid that. Go for choose my own primary key if it is mentioned in the question paper. If in the question paper they did not mention about the primary key, go for no primary key. So here the primary key is racer ID. Click next and then finish and then close. So now our table is visible here. When we open the table, we can just go through and then verify the data. We can see the birth date is still not changed and penalty also, but it doesn't mean that you should not do that while importing. While importing also you have to do, otherwise we will get error messages. So after importing, we can go to the design view, and then after going to design view we can change the format here. So first field is birth date. I have to change the format to ddmm yy. So I'm going to just type the format, that will just work. I don't need to go to the drop down menu and then like to get confused. So just type the format and that will work. So we will just check it out whether it is working or not. We will just go to the datasheet view again, save the table because we did a change, and you can see the change here. Now we need to change penalty. This must be displaying yes or no. So click on penalty and from the format choose yes or no. Just make sure that you got the correct data. Yes. Now the next is AVG MPH. We have to make sure that it is decimal place with 2. So click on AVG MPH. It's already double, and we have to go for decimal place 2. At the same time, since this is number, it need to be, even though if you change it to decimal place 2, some data might be incorrect. We won't get 2 decimal place. So change this to fixed. If you go to if you change the format to fixed, definitely there will be 2 decimal places. Now we can see the change here. So this is how we will do the changes. And after that, we have to go for an evidence. Place in your evidence a screenshot showing the primary key, field names, and data type. So definitely it's not the datasheet view. In the datasheet view, you cannot see the data type and then the primary key. Go to the design view, take the screenshot, and then paste it in the evidence file. And it must be evidence file. Now, next is import the file j220clubs.csv as a new table in your database. Set club ID as a primary key. Create a one-to-many relationship. So we have to import another table, and they didn't mention anything about the data type. So you can just import first, and we will go through the data type after while importing. Click OK. Again, the first is delimited, and you can see first row contain field names, and you can see this is numbers, this is text, this is text, this is text, and this is text. So it is almost clear. We can check club points, that is also number. So go to advanced and you can see by default it is long integer, this is also long integer, and everything else is text. Since they didn't mention anything in the question paper related to the data type, we do not need to change unless and until the data type is not matching. So here if everything is matching, I'm just clicking OK and then click next. And then for the primary key, we have a primary key club ID. So choose my own primary key and then choose club ID. Click next, finish, and then close. So now the next table is also created, and we have to create a one-to-many relationship between club ID and club code in the results table. So go to database tools, relationships, add both the table. After adding both the table, close, and then I'm just dragging the table so that it is clearly visible. And I have to relate club ID to club code. So I have to click and drag club ID to club code so that I will get a window for editing. If there is any mistake, you can see from club table it is club ID, from results table it is club code, and it is a one-to-many relationship because club ID is a primary key and club code is not a primary key, so we call it as a foreign key. Now create. So the relationship is created and we have to show an evidence of this relationship. So just uh, go for the edit relationship, right click and edit relationship, keep it here so that the relationship is clear and one to many is also clear. Take the screenshot and then paste it as evidence 6. Now the next one is question number 21. Enter the following details as a new record in the results table. So we have to go to results table and then we can click on new. So we will be able to move to the last record, and we have to type the new record. Olsen Janet MTBC 10, birth date 28, 13.67, so 6, 1051550. Let me type it. 1550. This is yes. And senior 19 to 29. 19 to 29. Expert and then female. So data is entered now. And check your data entry, you can do the verification. Now we can move on to the reports, question number 22. So that will be shown in the next video. Thank you.